Conference season is now in full swing, and this week I'm across the Irish Sea in Dublin for this year's Dublin Tech Summit. Whilst I'm doing a couple of stage talks, I'll also have plenty of time to talk to people on the conference floor and try and ask them one or two questions about their thoughts on the state of the technology industry right now. One statement I've already heard that caught my attention is that Ireland's only natural resource is talent. And if that's the case, it's a natural resource that needs to be protected because the pressure on talent right now has never been greater. Whilst we see soaring levels of demand for senior talent, we're probably not doing enough to make sure there's a healthy pipeline of junior talent coming into the marketplace. So something I'll be asking people if I get the opportunity is whether or not we're spending enough time focusing on that junior talent. Do you think enough attention is being paid to at the moment in terms of hiring junior talent? And I mean that across the industry as a whole, not necessarily for Quantera.
Well, I will only talk from my own experience, and I actually was historically CTO for State Street, and we absolutely did have agreements with colleges, and we looked at apprenticeships. I worked with the Irish fund industry to create a criteria for apprenticeships in the IT finance, and I think that that's something we really need to grow, is apprenticeships, because we're really focused on college degrees and masters, but hands-on learning is a different way of learning, and I think that's something we really need to push.
I think that it's one of those, the media tells you they're not being hired. Personally, we're hiring junior talent all the time. The idea that you kind of get people with native skill sets, embracing new technology faster, kind of an open palette, and then you also have this specialist expertise on the senior level side. So I think they're both, it seems like both ends of the funnel. I think, I don't see it that way, but I've heard in the news that people disagree with that.
That is a great question, okay? And I think it's all changing so fast that actually the junior talent are the ones that are going to be teaching us, because when you are native to something, when you've grown up with it, you are going to be amazing at it, okay? So not only are they we need to support them more, but we need to listen to them more as well and give them the time. That's a great question, and I think we revere people who have the experience, and we see them as talented by virtue of the fact that they have made something of themselves by learning and growing. Do we give enough? I'm going to say we do, because I think a lot of investors, people looking for new ideas, innovation, are kind of looking for a fresh, young mind that's going to change the way we think or change an angle on something or a perspective on something. And really you can only get that with somebody who potentially hasn't been jaded by the world and sees it in a very fresh way. So my answer is yes and no. I think if you're looking for experience and you're looking for somebody to trust in business, yes, you're going to look for somebody a little bit more senior. But if you're looking for new ideas and fresh and something that's going to be a pioneer in an industry, I think you are going to be a little biased and try and look for someone younger.
Do you think enough organisations are taking the hiring of junior talent seriously enough?
No, I don't, and I think that that's a major risk to organizations. So I understand why a lot of them are focusing on getting efficiencies through AI and not even replacing junior talent, but not backfilling their junior talent as junior talent moves up. But I definitely think that that's going to be a long-term risk. If we're not training junior talent to take on the task as they come into the company or into the industry, we're going to have a massive dearth of middle talent here in about 5 to 10 years. And I think that's going to be an interesting challenge for us to try to navigate, and I don't think AI is going to be able to fill that gap.
I do think so, and I say that because of myself and because of my co-founders. So we are nowadays C-levels because we are the founders, we came up with the idea and we are working on something like new. But we know how difficult it is for us as young people starting a startup to put ourselves out there. Sometimes we go and get attention, and we have a lot to say, we have a lot to show, we have a really good product that sometimes we just don't get traction because of young talent. And so I know that it's a bit different, but yeah, I do think you need to give attention to them because diversity is everything. You need to have like this diverse mindset for your business to thrive.
Is it almost that starting your own business is as viable an option as trying to get a job because there are so many opportunities?
Oh yeah. So it's very hard to start your own business, and like I think the same way that you send so many CVs, you need to reach out to so many different companies. That is why you get so many no's, you get almost none yes to go like to the next phase to be able to show your demo. So I think it's like very aligned. Yeah.
Having spent a couple of days here at Dublin Tech Summit and talking to people about junior talent, I think there's a couple of things to think about. Yesterday on stage I was speaking to leaders from across our industry and they were talking about a halo effect, about the fact that we need to attract talent from different non-traditional areas of our society and attract them into the industry. Also, we need to recognise that there is a generational shift in the way that people entering the workforce look at their work-life balance versus those of us who might have been in our careers for 15, 20, 25 years. And that does set for different expectations and different cultures. But I think from talking to people on the conference floor, the most stark message is that routes into the industry at the minute are not diverse enough. We need to rethink how we get people into technology, whether that's through apprenticeships, whether or not that's through using AI to lower the barriers in recruitment.